Warning, the views and beliefs in the following program does not reflect the views of Boom Broadcasting. We give full creative control to our creators and do not believe in cancel culture. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Nightcap. Viewer discretion is advised.
Live from the MOWM studio, Boom Broadcasting presents The Nightcap. And your host of The Nightcap, mouthing off with Mike.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Nightcap, hosted by yours truly, mouthing off with Mike. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is really me, in fact, that you are seeing here on your screens here tonight on the Nightcap. It is, in fact, I, or I should say, it's me, Mike, yo. Listen, we're here live on Boom Broadcasting. It's Halloween weekend, pre-Halloween weekend. So the festivities started tonight with NXT Halloween Havoc, and I had to bring in two of my favorite Boom Broadcasting creators. We've got the host of It Stinks and Wrestling of Destiny. We've got Sean, and of course, you know him, you love him. He likes to hit quick. The host of Quick Hits, Shannon Smith. What's going on tonight, fellas? How you doing?
Shannon Mike, just glad to be able to get back on the Nightcap. As y'all know, if you heard the offline before the Nightcap conversation, you'll be glad I had a great time catching up with you guys. But had this work schedule, just glad I could get back on. And hey, I'm ready. Halloween hat was good today, good tonight. Bound for Glory was good last night. I'm ready to just dive into some Halloween Havoc.
I love it, Sean. What's going on, Podcast Mini? How you feeling tonight?
Hey, man, I'm good, man. Anytime I can get on the live and talk a little bit of wrestling, I'm good. I'm a little bit on pins and needles because my squad is playing right now. They're down 4, about to go into halftime. I do not want to be the bulletin board material of that voice. So my guys got to do this for real before MD and MD Jr. have a feast on me. Can't have that.
Can't have it. Well, Sean and I, we're having a nice chill sesh tonight.
Oh yeah.
However, our Eagles got a big win here today against them Cincinnati Bengals. So fly, Eagles, fly. And listen, Sean, I think you can agree to this. We are fans of the Philadelphia Eagles and any team that is playing the Cowboys. So I'm rooting for your Niners tonight to beat the Cowboys. And maybe we'll all be a subject on Dad and the Boys, hosted by the Prez, Michael Davis, and his father, Mac. We might end up being on the hit list for Dad and the Boys this week. If those Niners pull it out.
Yes, sir.
I love it, fellas. Great to have you back. Great to have all of you here back. ZWC, the stash suits you. You know what, ZWC? I appreciate you so much. Drink it in, man. Enjoy it, ladies and gentlemen. This probably be the only time you'll see me with the stash for the foreseeable future. So enjoy it. Had to commit to the Halloween costume. So you get mouthing off with Mike and his stash now. Or as Rick 8-Bit called me, cheaper than therapy, mouthing off with Mike. This is true, fellas. Listening to Mouthing Off with Mike, Quick Hits, Wrestling of Destiny, It Stinks. A lot cheaper than therapy, folks. A lot cheaper. And it's all for free. All you got to do is subscribe to Boom Broadcasting. And we got Logan James in the building, in his house. Logan James, I love seeing your name pop up on my screen. Fellas, NXT Halloween Havoc in Hershey, Pennsylvania, back in my backyard a lifetime ago. Not a lot of candy, trick or treat, nobody got any full-size candy bars. I couldn't think of the word full-size candy bars. But we did get some really good professional wrestling here from NXT and WWE's third brand. So before we get into each match here, fellas, let's start with Sean. What did you think about here tonight for NXT Halloween Havoc as the standalone premium live event this year? What'd you think about it?
I thought it was good. A great premium live event. We did not get a trick or street fight, but we'll get it tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw. So we know that's coming. But good event. And once again, you guys know I like when WWE does the 5 to 6 matches. Sometimes that's all we need. Even the kiddos said when Trick Williams match up, they're like, we got one more match. I said, this is it, guys. It's time to call it a night. I like that. I'm good with it.
I like it. Shannon, what do you got?
The formula was really good for this. Not a lot of flair and foolishness and bells and whistles. Sometimes you don't need that to make a good event. NXT is known for its wrestling. It has been known for its wrestling, its technicality. It does have storyline in it, but it goes into the wrestling, which is what they done as soon as it began. It wasn't any promo work. It wasn't anything to like build or any time fillers or anything in between to fill it. It was straight out the gate. You know, you got Oba in the Dunn like right then.
Right.
I'm like, but dang, you know what? I'm glad I didn't go to the bathroom. This. So yes, so it was good to me. I liked it.
All right, I like it. I agree, fellas. I liked NXT Halloween Havoc. I thought it was a good show. I do prefer the premium live event version as opposed to the 2 weeks on the network. You know, especially right now with the CW. As you guys know, I have beef with the CW network since I can't watch NXT live, which means I can't have a NXT nightcap, which means you don't get to see my smiling face and all of my lovely guests. You know, on a Tuesday night after the show. But I liked it, and I also liked that they were in Hershey. You know, you got to think, you know, you think Hershey, Pennsylvania, you think chocolate, you think Halloween, you think, you know, candy, trick-or-treating. I thought there was peaks and valleys on the show, and I thought the crowd. We had a good friend, as you know her, you love her, a Tortellini from Black Masses and Constellations podcast. She was on NXT Halloween Havoc tonight, and she was saying that the crowd didn't really seemed out of it at points. Did you guys get that across your screen when you were watching tonight?
Yeah, I did, Mike. The match with Kalani versus Bad. I don't know if it's Bad Influence. I forget her name every time. But that match right there. Yeah, that match right there. They just kind of dropped off the cliff on that one. I thought it was a good setup having a gauntlet match. But when I was going back and looking at how they had scheduled all the matches, I said, if you went back and had to rebook this one, that would probably be my first match. And the Don would have moved in their slot. Because the Don opened toward the house down, and when they opened up like that, I said, God knows, this pay-per-view is going to be fire. And then it just kind of went up and down.
Okay. Shannon, what did you think?
That was what I was thinking as well, too, because when they started with Oba and the Don, I was like, well, it was good, but it was not good at the same time because the storyline was building with this match, and it was a very good storyline. And I felt like that would have been something like towards the end. I would probably say the match before the main event, I would say. I was thinking it was going to be like that, but it wasn't. Yeah, it was peaks and valleys in this. But, you know, you can't please everybody, and I get it. But, you know, it was still a good pay-per-view, but yet it could have been booked a little better, or probably would have been had a lineup a little better, because, you know, it's like, you know, we've been watching baseball. You know, got to make sure that you put your right guys, you know, your 1, 2, your 3s, and your 4s. But, you know, you can't have your one batting cleanup. You can't have your cleanup batting first. You got to make sure that you structure everybody in the right order in order for it to work. And sorry if I brought up like bad memories, Mike. That was not on purpose.
It's like pitching a guy who hasn't pitched since September, you know, in a do or die game 1 in a close game with the bases loaded and 2 outs, and your best left-handed relief pitcher, you know, it has 25 scoreless innings. And, you know, you don't pitch him. You pitch the guy who hasn't pitched him. No, I understand. Trust me, I'm still not over game 1, and game 2 is
I'll
even
do
worse.
you one better. I'll do you one better. At least you're not an Atlanta Braves fan sitting there watching Freddie Freeman hit runs. You know, you're not watching that. You know, it's broke my heart.
That's pain.
So, yes.
True pain.
Hey, the BS Bombers, we got it covered. We got to come back. We'll get it next to the BS Bombers. We got it next to.
We still good. We still fine. But yet still, it's right here. So yeah,
it's right there. Oh, I love it, folks. If you want baseball, go hit up Quick Hits, man. He's got it. He just dropped a new episode. I make a cameo about the World Series and my Yankee fandom against Chris, the host of the Dugout Debrief, who has a baseball centric podcast here, and his case with the Dodgers. But fellas, let's get into the first match here. I think I've done enough yapping. We got tables, ladders, and scares. Oh my God, the scares. It was so scary. The scares were scary. We got the Don Tony D'Angelo defending the North Italy championship against the ruler, Obafemi here. And I thought it was a nice little detail, fellas, that this match was not a classic ladder match where you climb the rungs and you grab the championship. It was by pinfall only, which I thought was a nice little detail for the story. So let's go to podcast Smitty. What's he got here with this match?
I gotta say this was my favorite match. I was looking forward to it because, I love the Don. I love the fact that the title is put on the Don, number one. But I love Obafemi as well, too. It's kind of like, you got these two guys, It was like back in my days when Jay-Z and Nas went after each other, man. And I love both of them. And I'm just like, man, I love both of these guys. Really, it breaks my heart. But in this case here, the story tells everything. Oba is the monster. Oba is the beast. And you got Tony D'Angelo, who is the champion, but yet and still, he's still got to conquer the beast, and the beast is after him. He's running after him. He's the one that the beast is going to get. But Tony D did not back down. He wrestled valiantly. Then the family came and helped him. Which was a good spin to everything. Because of course, family's everything. Family's everything with Tony D'Angelo. That's his character. That's what he does. The family came through. Rizzo with the crowbar.
I love it.
That was cool. I like that a lot. Oba had that look. Like, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. And then she come with the crowbar. And then after that, it didn't happen. And then the Don comes in. And there you go. So, then Luca and then Stacks come through. And it's like, man, here we go. And then he gets the title. And that was good. Good stuff.
I like it. All I'm going to say is I know the both of you will never forget the rest of the family's names.
Nope.
No.
Now I know I never have to worry about you guys. I'm never gonna have to be like, oh yeah, that's their name, because I know that's ingrained in the brains now. Go watch 3 Count Trivia.
Please,
with 4 Sides of the Ring. Please go watch it. Sean, what do you got here with the Don and the Ruler? What were some of your takeaways?
Good match right here. Like I said, opening up with the Don and Oba was good. My cousin on the other side of where we at in North Carolina really wanted Oba to get the belt back. But I had already texted when this match started. As soon as we saw it was that, we texted each other at the same time. Oba and the Don started it off. Like, this is going to be a good premium live event. But it's time you need two things. The Don be Oba to win the title, but you need the Don to conquer him one more time so that now they can end this all the way completely, and Oba now can start going after Trick. And that's the main focus now, is getting Oba to Trick in that NXT main title run for the setting that up. So I think it was a good match. I mean, and Oba's one of those guys you hate to see him lose because you feel like that defaces his value as what he is to NXT. But losing to the Don, who I keep saying everybody, the Don really just rose his stock up, especially with me, with those Heritage Cup matches. Those Heritage Cup matches he put on just made me say, hey, this guy can go on all levels. So they opened up great, good match, good storytelling. I think it was a good way to close the chapter for the Don now to move on and get a new challenger, and now for Oba to start working that path to get to Trick Williams.
Yeah. I think that's it right there. Hit the nail on the head. I know a lot of people were upset. And I was doing my laps. I was doing my victory laps on social media when the Don won the NXT North American Championship. I was doing my victory laps, Yeah, and listen, I gotta do them, this is, obviously it is, it's the classic stereotypical Italian mob, mafiosa, Don, character gimmick. But like, at the end of the day, it's representation. And even if it is the silliest of the representation that everyone's a mob boss, I don't care. I love it. He's an Italian. He is Italian legitimately. It's not like he's playing an Italian. He's got the tattoo for real. It's not a stick on. So he's really an Italian, and I'm always going to show love to my fellow Italian professional wrestlers. And I think what you said, Sean, the Don had to put Oba down in a statement. But the good news is like you said, you hate to see him lose. I hate to see him lose too. I don't want to see the guy lose. He's too damn good. He's too damn big. He's not believable to be booked as a loser. As a guy who loses matches. And when you put a title on a guy like that, you can't. There's so many places you can go until you got to say, all right, we got to get him to the next level. And that next level is Trick Williams and the NXT North American Championship. But it took not just the Don, but it took Stacks and Luca and the Riz. So really, I think at the end of the day, Shawn Michaels did a good job of protecting Oba moving into the championship, the main title picture, with having to lose to the entire family, because the storyline dictates that he has to lose to the family because he involved them last Tuesday by tying up Tony D like he did in the match with the zip ties and victimizing them one by one. Obviously not Rizzo, but nevertheless, she got attacked by someone. You know who it is? You have an idea of who it is? Do you want me to tell you who it is?
Tell her who is it?
Who attacked Rizzo last week?
Man.
She goes by the name of Nikita Lyons.
Yeah. He handed her the coat. And that was, I thought she was going to get involved in the match, because when Oba,
that's what I was thinking.
Yes, when Oba went by and handed her the coat, and I was like, she's going to get involved. I was like, yeah, she's getting involved. So yeah, but back to the Don right here. You bringing that up right there. There's a difference between someone who actually can play the character and someone who can't. And the Don character very well. I was like, man, he's making it believable.
He is
done. He's made it believable. And not only that, the man can wrestle on top of that. So he's got everything you need. There's two things, and you're probably going to hear this on Tuesday if you watch Quick Hits. This is why you're friends with wrestling fans, because wrestling fans know things. There's two things in a sports franchise that you need. You need fine-tuned athletes and a storyline. That's what you need. And wrestling fans know all that. So you can have fine-tuned athletes all day long, and they do well. They do well. Looking at you, Dean Malenko. They can do very, very well in the ring. But if they have no personality, they have no charisma, they have no storyline, no way to captivate an audience, who cares? And it sucks because, guys like that get lost in the fold and it's not cool. But at the end of the day, you have to be able to move a crowd. You have to be able to move their emotions. You have to be able to grab that. And the Don does that with his character. The Don is dug into his character. The Don does well with his character. And he does well with everybody around him, including his adversary. So let him play that character. At first I thought the same thing. And I thought the same thing. Stereotypical character.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Oh my God. But no,
not at all.
He's killing it. So good job. Thank you.
I agree. Sean, any thoughts on this one, or are we moving on?
I'm with y'all on the same thing. When I first saw it, I did not think it was going to work. And then now you look at it now from when it started out, like Shannon said, it's believable. You believe this guy really is the Don of some American crime family in New York somewhere. He's really got you invested into it. So, the suits, the dinner tables, all that stuff they done, it makes it believable. Hey, you might well go put him on Tulsa King with Dwight.
Right.
Out there in Tulsa King.
Yeah.
Great show, man. Great show. I agree. You hit the nail. The details. The devil's in the details, right? Ironically, we're talking Halloween Havoc. The devil is in the details. They're giving him the suits. They're giving him the family. They're giving him the family dinners. They're having, the restaurant and the Italian restaurant and all the business meetings. It all works. And sky's the limit now for Tony D when it comes to the North American Championship, because now you've opened the table. Now you've opened the book. You now have a full line of challengers to put in front of the Don. with unique matchups and scenarios that you can set up. So I think a big win here. And then Obafemi, like we said, right to the main title, right
That's
to
it.
Trick Williams, right? Gotta send him. Cora Jade, Roxanne Perez versus Julia and Stephanie Vacour in a dream match, fellas. A dream match of international superstardom. This was a top match here on the card for me, next to the Don and Obafemi. I really love this. The ladies, as I tweeted out during the match, went out there and put on a fucking wrestling clinic. Shawn Michaels. I'm gonna go on my soapbox here for a sec, fellas, and then it's all on you. The closing thoughts are the two of you. Shawn Michaels has single-handedly crafted one of the greatest women's wrestling divisions in professional wrestling right now. That is not a slack to AEW, TNA, or any other promotion. It is just a fact. Shawn Michaels and this recruitment talent, whatever they're using, the PC, whatever, NIL, fill in the blank, whatever they're doing, they're taking international stars like Julia, Stephanie, Zaria. They're taking women who have wrestling experience like Fallon Henley and JC Jane and Gigi and Ren Sinclair and a few of the other girls in the back. And they're taking D1, D2 college athletes and they're turning them into wrestling robots, dude. Every woman on the card tonight went above and beyond. And this division is insane. This was a top match for me. Shout out to Julia and Stephanie, and we'll get into it. But fellas, take it away. Let's go to Sean to start this off.
Well, to everybody who's watching the show who says the PC arena does not work, the performance center doesn't work, this was a prime example right here. It works. Great match right here. This could have been the match that you could have traded. If you didn't want to trade the Don, have a title match before a title match, trade this one, put them in that fourth slot before the main event, get us on that high. So when we get to Trick and Ethan Page, we're ready. We're already there. You don't have to build us up. We're ready. We can go crash right into that match. Good match. I hated to see Roxanne Perez lose, but once again, with your Shawn Michaels, that's why he sits behind the table with the headset. That's how you protect the champ. Have the champ lose in a tag match, and then you can come back and tell the story. I'm not a tag team wrestler. I'm a singles champ. That's not my specialty. I'm not Harlem Heat. I'm not the Young Bucks. I'm not FTR. They're tag people. I'm not Jade and Bianca. They're tag specialists. I'm a single wrestler. Put me back. The first who beat me, put me in a match 101 at next pay-per-view, and I can beat him. Great match right here. Like I said, wrestling clinic in this match. This one right here probably could have been one of the top ones of the night if you didn't have the Don and Oba, but it's right up there with the Don and Oba. I mean, right there about not even a middle step behind them.
I love it. What do you got, Shannon?
I was really surprised to see Roxanne Perez get pinned. That was what surprised me, but I get it. I understand why. Because it's like we were talking about on the Monday Night Raw Nightcap. It's one of those things where it's just like you're teasing who she's going to go against. You're teasing it. The crowd is getting a tease. The crowd is getting this whole, is it going to be her? Is it going to be her? Is it going to be her? Who's going to do it? Is someone going to turn? Are they gonna turn? There's so many dynamics in this match right here. So I understand why she got pinned. Because at first I was like, why did y'all do that? But then again, I was like, okay, I see why. Because you do have to create that. And Sean, that was spot on. You wanted to have her lose in a tag match to protect the champ because you didn't want her getting pinned in a non-title match to lose flair to her name and to put her in a bad spot, or to put her low in the rankings, or wonder why she's champ. But also another thing as well, too, they're building this women's division because they know good and well she's about to go main roster. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what's going to happen. That's why they're putting all this. That's why they had the debut for the women's division. That's why they're doing that, because they're going to make sure she has a smooth transition to either Raw or SmackDown.
I don't definitely will be going to the main roster soon, but I don't think that soon. I think we're at least like a year, maybe 6 months.
It's working towards it. mean, not now, but
It's definitely working towards it. No, it is definitely working towards it. Yeah, I think the next thing you got to go here is you got to go Cora Roxanne. You got to go Cora Roxanne next.
Oh yeah,
That's something that they tried to do years ago, almost a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. And then Cora got the ACL at the time and they had to scrap it. And that was the initial Cora heel turn and everything. Now Roxanne's a heel. Could you use Cora to bring back babyface Roxanne? Do you even want babyface Roxanne back? Because I don't want her back. I want this is the Roxanne Perez I want. I want the prodigy. I want the little, the young women's wrestler who thinks she is a veteran, right? She thinks she is better than every woman that is on that roster, and she has wrestled or has yet to wrestle. That's the prodigy. That's the Roxanne Perez I've come to really enjoy. This opens up a lot of doors, fellas. First, before we get into it, from Four Sides of the Ring. The stash is crazy. First time, long time. That stash is ridiculous. It's out of control. It's out of control. I don't. He said sources tell me that stash was at one of those redacted parties. Settle down. Settle down. Settle down. Settle down.
No.
The chat box is on fire tonight.
Settle down, Chano.
Oh.
Settle down. What are we doing here? He's trying to, what do you call? He's trying to get rid of me. He's trying to take me out now. Oh my goodness. Logan said it's unfair that Delta got to damage all of the NXT women's division because he wants Julia to damage the NXT women's division. Well, I'm glad you said her name. Well, her former name. Zarya is here, fellas. She showed up at the end of NXT Tuesday and the CW. Once again, another beef with the CW. Cut off the end of NXT, so we didn't even get to see the entrance. She's here, but she's not in the ring. She does not confront Julia, Stephanie, Roxanne, or Cora. She looks from above. So not the targets yet, which I thought was very interesting. And as we'll talk about it later, she returns. She returns after the Women's North American Championship match. So we'll talk about it in a sec. But let's talk about the ambulance match. Ridge Holland, Ridge the Fridge, going up against my man, the leader, the head of the U, baby, Chase U. And listen, fellas, I'm going to ask you a question.
Go.
So, a hearse is not an ambulance.
No, not at all.
Right. Okay. All right. You see where I'm going, right?
Yeah,
but an ambulance technically could be a hearse. Right?
Well, yeah, because they appear to see bodies in it.
Right. So hear me out, fellas. What was there, a short supply of ambulances tonight in Hershey? Because if what I'm looking at here tonight when I was watching this match, that was a hearse with ambulance decals on it. Was it not? Was it not? Was I tripping?
Yes, that was the Ghostbuster car. I said, man, are we gonna have the Ghostbuster car on the show tonight?
I believe it.
Listen, come on, NXT. We got more money to buy props, y'all.
You could have got an ambulance. You could have got an ambulance. That wasn't an ambulance. I mean, they're gonna argue that it's an old timey ambulance. Somewhere, someone is arguing right now at their phone or at their computer or TV. They're like, "You idiot! That's an ambulance from 1965. What are you talking about? That's what they looked like. That's what they looked like." I don't. That was a hearse. That was a hearse. That was a hearse.
Yeah, because you can see the rollers in there, and I mean, I worked in the funeral home business a long time before I got to public service. When they opened up the door, I was like, "That's a hearse." I saw the rollers in there where you would push the casket over the rollers. That's a hearse,
right?
Come on, NXT.
I said the same.
We're better than that.
I said the same thing. I'm sitting back here like, I've seen some ambulances, with public safety background that I got going on here as well too. And I'm like, look, I'm not the smartest man in the world. That's not an ambulance. Not at all. I'm gonna be looking at this all night. I'm gonna go back and look at it. I'm gonna be like sitting the whole time like, nope, nope.
Nah, it was definitely they definitely tried to pull the wool over our eyes, but I see right through you, WWE. I see you. There's a hearse. The technical hearse match here between Ridge the Fridge and Andre Chase. Let's go to Sean. What did you take away from this here tonight?
This is one of the ones I had highlighted I wanted to see because Ridge has been turning it up since leaving Chase U. Come back to NXT, get with Chase U, kind of helped him get better. Now going on his own, we can see now once again, he's one of those people that's starting to drift towards getting the trick. He needed this match. I wanted Andrew to, I wanted our guy, Professor Andrew, to win this match so bad to pretty much end that feud. But then I started watching, like, you cannot have that happen because you want Ridge down, especially when Ridge did that with Bubba Ray at the beginning of the show. I said, okay, they're doing something. I said, they're doing something with Ridge. We just got to keep watching. They're doing something with him because this guy wouldn't come out and interrupt Bubba Ray at the beginning of the pre-show, not to see him sound like he's got to win this match. But it was a good match, a very enjoyable match. Hate to see the Professor lose, but Ridge is the one that you had to make the star in the match. So that's what WWE did tonight. They made him the star.
Tough call. Yeah, that's a tough one. Shannon, what do you got here? What's your quick hit?
I'm on this one here as well too. This match took me for a high and took me for a low because I'm in the middle as well too. I like Mr. Chase a lot. I really like his character. But Ridge, when Ridge broke away from Chase U, I was like, I know what they're about to do. They got to make a monster heel. And they're going to make him a monster heel, which is the right move.
Right.
Smart move because as a face character, not now. He's a good heel, and I like him as a heel. I think it's a good idea to have him as a heel. So I'm like, yo, do this for Ridge the Fridge. And then, it looked like he's about to lose. It looked like because when he closed the door and his hand come out and he grabbed Chase by the eyes, and I was like, uh-oh. I was like, oh man, nah, he ain't losing this match right here though, because they ain't gonna let Chase, they ain't gonna let Andre Chase win that clean or win that decisively over somebody you're trying to book and bill as a monster heel. Bad move, because that would ruin Ridge to death, and I would hate that because they do need a monster heel next to Obafemi, and he'd be the next guy to me. So yes, good job.
I like it. Yeah, this was a tough one for me. I said Andre Chase was going to get the win on the predictions because I was like, he's been getting his shit kicked in for weeks. Ridge has just been tormenting him and just brutalizing the guy. It all started with, Ridge putting him, hospitalizing him, having him stretchered out, putting in an ambulance, and then we come back and now it's a hearse instead because he's trying to kill Andre Chase, and then WWE thought they were slick there, I'm gonna keep bringing that up tonight because I swear that was a damn hearse. I like the physicality we got in this match.
Yes,
I always get a little man, it's been so long since it happened, but I always get a little bit nervous watching a Ridge Holland match.
Oh yeah,
just a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's no fault to anybody. Freak things are the freak things, but I wince a little bit more when I see bumps in these matches. And whatever, it is what it is. But I thought they did a good job. I thought this match was going to open the show. I thought
that would have been a good opener.
Open. Yeah. And then I thought that they would slot in the 3 title matches back to back to back. But then I was like, well, where do you put Cora, Roxanne, and the Julia Steph thing? And then they ended up going on second anyway. And I was like, well, yeah, if that's the case, then maybe we should have switched this around a little bit. But other than that, Kayfabe Keith said the hearse was the star of the PLE. Obviously, in this household, the hearse was in fact the star of the PLE. We're gonna talk a little bit more about Ridge Holland, I guess, and the whole Bully Ray situation.
Yes.
In just a few moments here, folks. So just don't hold your breath. I don't want you to pass out because I like to yap. Speaking of, we got.
I did like that Andre Chase wore the Freddy Krueger outfit tonight.
Yes.
Good.
That was
good
nice.
detail.
The Freddy Krueger shirt was nice.
And he had the Freddy Krueger, I think they were the Bapes. He had the Freddy Krueger Bapes
Uh-huh.
on. Man's an absolute maniac wrestling in those bad boys. We out here yapping. Oh, that's all we do is yap. Kayfabe, you know the vibes here. So it was a spin the wheel, make the deal match here, fellas. And Fatal Influence got Spinner's Choice. And man, I gotta give credit where credit is due because that hold on. That JC Jane is a very smart individual because it's a spin the wheel, Spinner's Choice. They get to choose, and she chose a match that wasn't even on the wheel. Big brain. This is 1,000 IQ moves here tonight by JC Jane. Gauntlet match. Kalani Jordan's got to defend against the entirety of the Fatal Influence. Jasmine Nix, JC Jane, and Fallon Henley. You do realize that for 2 years now, that has been ingrained in my head. Gigi Dolan, who also did the intro video tonight, which did a very good job on the intro video. Ever since she hit us with the JC Jane is a thick ass bitch. The JC Jane part of it, the way she says JC Jane because of like the theme song and everything with the
I love it.
it's stuck in my head. So every time I hear JC Jane's name, if it's not said in that sort of way, I'm just like, it doesn't hit the same. But how did this match hit for you guys? Let's go to Podcast Smitty first.
Surprising. Very, very surprising because I thought JC Jane was going to come out last and win the title. I thought she was going to be the one that was going to win it. But I do like the move that she didn't win because I think JC Jane has had some very good traction. She's the leader, of course. She's chess master. She's moving everybody in good spots. Like you said, chose a match that wasn't even on the wheel. And she put the odds in her team's favor. And I think it was good that she didn't win the title. I was very surprised that Kalani dropped it, but it was good that happened. So, yeah, I thought JC was going to win it, but nah, I think she's going to go ahead and build her younger and make sure that that's good for the group, which I think is the smart move. And, okay, I was going to save it, but now I'm not going to save it. And that is why professional wrestling is gentlewoman's sport.
There it is. Little remix there. I like it. Podcast Smitty. Oh, man, I love it. I as well did think JC Jane was going to win. I made the prediction. I said, that JC Jane will be the one that they pick, and she'll win the North American Championship. Congratulations to Fallon Henley, though.
Yes.
She has been doing incredible work, in her time in NXT. So if there's anybody deserving out of that group, if it was a competition, I'd say Fallon Henley and JC Jane were neck and neck right there to win this title tonight. Sean, what do you got here from this match?
Good match. When they spin the wheel and they went with that match right now, I got upset at first. I said, how can you pick a match not on the wheel? But there's no rules saying that you can't pick a match not on the wheel. So like you said, brain IQ over 1,000. This match right here was good. It was a good gauntlet match to show what all three of the ladies could do. And you knew with it being a gauntlet, she was going to drop it. And I've been somebody who, I like Kalania, but she's not been my favorite one. And I felt like it was time to move the title. So moving the title tonight was the right thing to do. But a good match. I wish the crowd would have been more into it. It felt like the first one, nothing. Second one, we got something. When she takes the shot at the end of the match, except the third person coming out, the crowd kind of got back into it. But I wish the crowd would have been more involved with it. But gauntlet matches, they're hard. They're hard to get them in because they're already thinking that Kalani's going to walk out as champ. She's going to beat all three of them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they would have, I even tweeted it. I was like, listen, first of all, if Kalani Jordan runs through all three of the members of Fatal Influence, they need to change their name immediately from Fatal. They need to drop the Fatal and just be the we lost to Kalani Jordan in the same night influence. Because I was like, at one point when she beat JC Jane, I was like, oh, she's retaining, and they're about to make Fatal Influence look like an absolute joke.
Yes.
Because as much as I love Kalani Jordan, there was no way that you were supposed to believe that she's going to beat these three women in the same night, in the same rapid succession with the gauntlet match. There was no way. There was no way. And then JC lost, and I was like, well, hold on a minute here. Well, hold on just a minute. I kind of started to, hit the mustache. I was hitting this. I was like,
that's how they got us.
That's how they got us. That is exactly how they got us. Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid. He pulled the wool. He got us here. I like Kalani Jordan. I think she has evolved so much since becoming the NXT North American Women's Champion, since being the flag bearer for that first title. I'm excited to see where Fallon Henley goes with this and where she can take it and what heights they can elevate it to. But no disrespect, no slander whatsoever. Kalani Jordan had a great first title run with this belt. And I think, we just keep working on her. And I think she's a star in the very near future, just like most of this NXT women's division. There's stars everywhere. If this was like, you're open a baseball card pack, man, you're getting the full foil auto jersey laminate insert card in every pack, because there is a star everywhere in that women's division. And now we have a new star, Zarya, formerly known as Delta, Australian wrestling sensation. She didn't attack anybody earlier, but she attacks the Fatal Influence. And fellas, do you remember who said it? Do you guys remember what a certain guy who used to have a beard, who has a mustache now? His name is Mike. He likes to mouth off. I remember distinctly. I was on a nightcap one of these weeks here, and I know Logan James is always watching the nightcap, so he actually might be able to be my witness. If I recall correctly, I said that the perfect place for Delta would be the NXT North American Women's Championship division. I also said I thought Steph could go there too, but I wasn't sure what they were feeling with that. So they obviously went with Steph and Julia to the Women's Championship, and Zarya to the NXT North American Women's Championship. So congratulations, Fallon Henley. You won your first singles title, and your new opponent is going to be Zarya, the absolute menace from Australia. Good luck. You got it. Yeehaw. Yeehaw. You got it. So I posed the question to you two fellas. Out of those three women, who wins a title first? Is it Stephanie? Is it Julia? Or is it Zarya? Let's go to Podcast Smitty.
In this case, it's got to be Zarya. I was going to say Julia at first. But I don't think they're going to just hand her over the NXT women's title that quickly. This is not AEW. Sorry about that. But I think they're going to do that. So I think it would be best to have somebody get the North American title. And I think Zarya will be the one that will do it.
Ooh, Zarya. All right. Zarya getting the title first. What do you got here, Sean? You going a different direction?
It's Zarya. They put a lot of build in her tonight. And when you start building like you did tonight with the appearance after the Roxanne tag match, the run in on the match after the Bad Influence won it, you know she's the next one in line for it. So she's definitely the one that they're going with to be the next champ before the other two, for Stephanie and for Gillian.
Wow. So, all right, let's expand on that thought. Fallon Henley just wins the NXT North American Women's Championship. So when does she lose to Delta or Zarya? Excuse me. When does Zarya beat her for the title? The next Premium Live event? Does she only hold it for 30, 40 days, or does it drag out a little bit.
They're going to drag. I think they'll drag it out a little bit and have her win it probably on the second try.
I think next premium live event, we just saw Jay drop the IC title and he only had it 15 days. I think if they want Zarya to be the way they pushed her tonight to the fan base to really welcome her back, I feel like this is going to be quick. And I think that may why they didn't put it on JC Jane to protect her and put it on Fire and have Zarya beat her really doesn't hurt the group. It just says that, you ran against a better superstar that you just couldn't match up with.
Interesting. See, now I took it. I agree. I think Zarya will become the first to win a title out of the three of them, which is a shocker because I felt that Stephanie or Julia would get it first, but it doesn't look like they're tracking that way right now. I think Zarya, and I think we saw it tonight. They put it in our face, and I mean, I might be putting two strings that maybe don't go. The whole presentation of Kalani Jordan having to defend against the three members of Fatal Influence is a direct foreshadowing of what Zarya is going to have to do to win the title. Yes. She's going to have to go through all three members of Fatal Influence and have to deal with their distractions. And it's just because she's so much more of a beast and a powerhouse, she's more than likely going to succeed in that venture. Unfortunately for Kalani, it was too much for her. But is it not enough for Zarya? Because they're building her, dude. This is an immediate impact. Our boy Logan James, I know he is not happy. It's unfair if she wins. Unfair to Julia. He's a big Julia guy. He's got Julia winning first. I hope it happens for you, Logan. I hope it does. But it's weird.
I get why he feels that way, though. I get why he does. But, you're right. Because it was one of those, here she is. And that was what it was. Like, they didn't really do that with Julia. It was kind of like a slow build.
Mm-hmm.
But Zarya is like, here. And we're all like, well, dang, you going to warn us or something like that? You're going to like warn us? You could have told us. We've been okay. But you were like, no, here. And I'm like, well, don't I get a say in this?
Oh, man. I love it. I love it, fellas. Yeah, I mean, I think Zarya is the odds-on favorite here with the Boom Boys. If you have a different opinion, like Logan, our good brother there in the comments, drop it in the comments. I'll circle back around. Don't worry. Let's talk about the main event here, fellas. The NXT Championship, the champion with two eyes, because your boy sometimes can't spell. The NXT Championship Devil's Playground match, Trick Williams versus All Ego, Ethan Page. And this match for me, fellas, it did not have enough devil in it for me. There wasn't enough devil. I didn't get a lot of
Yeah.
We got more out of the table ladders and scares match with Oba and the Don than we did this one.
But didn't you expect that? But did you guys think that y'all were going to get more out of that one than what you did with Oba and the Don? I really thought Oba and the Don was going to be more brutal. I get that.
Right.
You got Pretty Boy Ethan Page and Trick Willie that's never been busted wide open before. What did you expect? You're not going to get that from what you got with Oba and the Don.
Mm-hmm.
I get it, which is no knock to either one of these guys right here, because I like All Ego being the true heel and Trick Willie being the hero, and everybody loves that dude. But it's just one of those things where you're just like, you know what, y'all, did you really think that was going to happen? Like, Trick was going to come up with an Eddie Guerrero, like, busted up, like, expect that when he would not stop bleeding? Did you expect that? Did you expect Ethan Page to be busted wide open either? Did you expect any of that? Him in that face, you can see it right now. He probably cried because his face was busted wide open, and it would not be good for him. I expect the not so dirty Devils match right there. I expected it not, but still wasn't disappointed. Wasn't disappointed though. But you're right, Mike. But then again, you gotta look at who you had in the match. So yes.
That's fair. What do you got, Sean?
Good. I thought it was a good match. I would get more. I'd rather them now instead of doing the Devil's Playground match. Just do a Falls Count Anywhere to build a match. We won't get no blood in that, but at least it'll give us something a little more oomph behind than what we got. Cause I feel like this just was a singles match that we could. I mean, singles match we could have gotten any premium live event. If you're going to give it that title, Devil's Playground, let's see some stuff get out. Now we don't have to go too extreme ECW style, but at least get fighting in the crowd and do some more stuff. But I said on the show Trick was going to win. I thought Trick was going to win, but I thought we were going to go back to Ethan Page. I really thought. I just didn't want to get my pick wrong, mess my score up. But I really thought we were going to go back to Ethan Page and say Trick won it because it was the first night on CW. It was in Chicago. Hot crowd. Punk was the referee. Can't go wrong having Punk in Chicago. Trick wins. Helps boost Trick even more now because Punk was like giving him the seal of approval endorsement, raising the hand. And now we got Ethan now coming back at the Premium Live event, taking it back to continue this heel run. But I guess they're going with it. Trick and Over, that's the match right now. And Trick and Ridge, that's the match.
That's the match. There it is. You brought it up. So here's my thoughts. There were some elements I liked in this match. I like the nuts and bolts as opposed to thumbtacks. I thought that was clever, because everyone's always expecting thumbtacks. I love the pumpkin spot, with the pumpkin putting over Ethan's head and
that's perfect.
I loved Vic and Booker T's commentary all throughout tonight. They were absolutely nailed it. And I thought this was a better match for Trick Williams. I feel like maybe his secret, maybe they've kind of figured out like what you need to do for Trick, and you got to give him a gimmick match because he looked. I think he looked better tonight in the gimmick match as opposed if this was just a regular one-on-one match. Because you could add in the weapons and you can do that. The one thing I did not like, fellas, was the really bad Red 40 capsule that they had him bite into when he got hit in the ribs and he's hit over the steps and he's drooling out this Red 40 jelly. And then at the end of the match, he just got this long ass string of it and he's like pulling it out of his like tooth. And I'm like, dude, you guys could have definitely went a little bit better when it came to the little the blood capsule. I didn't think he was going to bleed buckets, but I would have liked to seen a little color, definitely something so we could really hone in on Ethan being this devil and Trick finally, wearing the crimson mask, maybe. Love Trick Willy Wonka, though. Great.
Oh, yeah.
10 out of 10 with the roll and everything. That was fantastic, dude.
That was funny.
That made it. I was a little worried in the match because when Ethan slammed Trick, the knee pad, if he had it saved him. I don't know if it's going to be any damage after that, and it just looked like it, but it looked like he landed right on the right spot for the knee pad to catch all of that. I said, man, if Trick gets hurt, this is going to kill it.
Oh, yeah. So,
he was able to finish, so he looks like he's got to be good, but I was worried about that spot.
Yeah, that could have been fatal. I mean, to the story and to the match.
Right.
Very fatal because you're like, oh my God, no, this is not a part of the deal. It's not a part of the show, everybody. No,
right.
Hurt. So yeah.
That was a gnarly bump that man took on them steel steps. He took a gnarly bump on them steel steps to the back, similar to what Drew took in that Hell in a Cell. Overall, I liked NXT Halloween Havoc. I feel like the crowd, I don't know if they got the crowd at all tonight. They had the crowd a few times. I think the top matches were the Dawn, Cora Jade, Roxanne and Julia and Stephanie. Yes. And I would say the Gauntlet match. I enjoyed the Gauntlet match too. So I would say those three matches for me were the big three. If I were to give it, fellas, let's see here. We're in Hershey, Pennsylvania, so we got to go Hershey bars. I'm going to give it 3.5 Hershey bars out of 5. Agree? They're shaking heads in accordance.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. I did love all of the gear, though. From the twins, from The Shining with Cora and Roxanne. Mike Rome as Beetlejuice.
Poison Ivy. Kalani as Poison Ivy.
Yes, dude. There was some good gear. I Andre Chase and Freddy Krueger.
And tell Booker if you're gonna do it, I think his mind went to the wrong place. They saw 1, 2, Andre's coming for you, 3, 4, he's gonna shut the door. And Booker was supposed to do the Freddy Krueger song, 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. He said 1, 2, buckle my shoe. All I can do is just bust out laughing. I said, Booker,
Protect Booker T at all costs, dude.
please give him the word so he be ready.
And
from when he was singing and dancing, when he began, that was Booker T when he was singing and dancing.
Yes.
When he sung Cody the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Dude, but good developments here tonight at NXT. It was announced Tatum Paxley, Wendy Chu casket match Tuesday on NXT. And I don't know if you guys caught this, because this is going to lead into the final talking point before we wrap the show up. Jada Parker and Lola Vice will be in action next Wednesday for the NXT and the ECW arena in a hardcore match. And the special guest ref is Dawn Marie.
Yup.
My mind almost exploded at that sentence. And not to be overlooked, Bully Ray saves Trick Williams tonight?
Yep.
What the hell is this about?
Said no. They're going to Philadelphia 2300, man. It's only one thing I ask, but I know it's not going to happen. If we could just get into the Sandman. And have the Sandman come down, crack over the bridge, pop that kendo stick, that would be the icing on the cake.
That would be great. I mean, I would love that. Some throwbacks to EC.
Raven, anybody.
Raven, Rob Van Dam.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, somebody. I mean,
it's funny you mentioned that. It's funny you mentioned that Rob Van Dam name. You know who one of his favorite wrestlers is? The young OG. His favorite wrestler is RVD.
Yeah. They got some parallels. They got some.
Yes.
So it could be something to keep an eye on. Maybe WWE gives us a little Javon Evans, Rob Van Dam. You know, we get Bully Ray versus Ridge the Fridge.
Hey, give me
Ridge
something. Give me something. I mean,
RPD, man. Hey, this guy brought me back. When I started drifting away in middle school, high school, I ran across RVD and on ECW tape that I found, and I came back. What he was doing back then in the 90s was like way ahead of his time.
It was. I mean, ECW was dope, man. You know, from Tommy Dreamer and Raven were going at it for like 5 years and over the same woman. And so that's what killed me the most. I'm just sitting here like, oh my God, they're really gonna again? And then they again, and it would not be a bad match at all. It would not be bad. Like, you know, Raven holding the title was dope. And I love some Raven. I was like, man, this is good that WCW dropped the ball with Raven. As they went with the flavor of the year with Goldberg. And Raven only held the title for like held the U.S. title for like maybe 24 hours and lost it to Goldberg after he beat DDP, which really hurt my feelings because I was a DDP kid back in the day. But I liked Raven, so I was like, okay, this isn't bad. And then after that, he loses it to Goldberg, and I'm like, wow, that was short-lived.
Till you look at WWF, you had Raven, but you wanted to make him Johnny Polo. Have a manager of the quarterbackers. And then he goes to ECW and just tears the house down.
Don't get me started on that, man. They really Raven at that time. Good God. Raven was funny, but the funny was hilarious. So I was like, okay, this can be good. But then all of a sudden he becomes Raven, and that was it.
Yeah. Oh, so underrated, dude. Raven really was underrated.
Yes.
So we got Dawn Marie. Looks like Bully Ray next week. Bubba Ray, whatever you want to call him. Fill in the blank. Any predictions? I'll ask the last question. Any other predictions for an ECW name face outside of Paul Heyman? Because I feel like Paul Heyman might be an easy one. But let's see, Shannon, give me a name, any name. It could be who you want. It could be who you think. Give me a name.
Tommy Dreamer got to show up.
Good one. I like that. Sean, what do you give me a name?
I'm gonna go safe. I'm gonna say Devon.
Okay.
But I know this would never happen. But if WWE pulled this off, like I think we could say Netflix is on the way. New Jack. If they pull that off, we're on the way to Netflix next week.
Bro, if they pull that off, that NXT parking lot just became 3,000 times unsafer.
Yes.
Very much, man. I've been cool with Too Cold Scorpio, man.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I'm gonna go with Mick Foley.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Mick. I'm gonna say Mick makes an appearance there.
Yeah.
I could see it. Well, fellas, that has been NXT Halloween Havoc. Any other final thoughts here before I let you plug your content here on Boom Broadcasting?
I think we got
No?
it all.
All right.
We did everything today.
Let's go, Sean. Plug away, guys. Go, starting with Sean.
Don't forget to tune in every Wednesday at 10 a.m. for It Stinks Podcast. We're talking about Tulsa King this week. If you haven't watched the episode on Sunday night of Tulsa King, it was a great one right here. This has just been a great season 2 for Tulsa King. Then on Thursday, we got Grit and Grind on Studio 67-CC. Check that out. We're talking Eastern North Carolina football. Then on Saturday, right back at 10 a.m. for WOD. Just talk about wrestling, everything going on. And it's going to be a good episode of WOD this week. We're going to have a little fun with some other stuff outside of in the Carolinas.
Oh, baby. I can't wait. So make sure you subscribe to Boom Broadcasting so you can catch Wrestling of Destiny and It Stinks, and as well the Grit and Grind. Shannon, what do you got here?
Whether you're in North or South Carolina or anywhere else in the world, enter the Cat Cave with myself and Ryan Frick every Wednesday on the Tobacco Road Sports Radio's YouTube channel. Unfortunately, we got to talk about another loss for the Panthers. We got to talk about another loss. But in the meaning between Tuesday and Friday, you will get a double dose of podcast Smitty for quick hits. Tuesday's episode is actually going to be a little fun. I will celebrate a little bit of Halloween on this episode coming up, but I'm going to hit you with the sports, but we're going to celebrate a little bit of Halloween, maybe a little 5 for 5, and you'll find out what I'm going to be doing with that. And then Friday, of course, Fridays are for football. We will be talking a good bit of football on Fridays to get you ready for the weekend of college and the pros. Have a little comic relief, a little hot takes. I got the WNBA wrap up with the collective bargaining agreement that was not upheld the day after the finals. So I'm looking forward to breaking all that down, getting it all done as we speak. In the mean between, I'm Shannon Smith, and this is Quick Hits.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am mouthing off with Mike. You will see me again tomorrow on Boom Broadcasting with the Raw Nightcap, and hopefully the Prez is still willing to come on Monday night after his Cowboys hopefully lose to Shannon's 49ers. Hopefully.
Not looking good.
It's not looking good for him. It's looking great for Shannon. It's looking great for the Eagle fans of Boom Broadcasting and the Packer fans too. And the poor Panther fans are struggling too. But you will catch me Monday for the Raw Nightcap, and I will be back Wednesday for the Fright Night Dynamite Nightcap for Wednesday's AEW Halloween special show. Maybe I'll be in costume. We'll see. Maybe. And then Friday, of course, I will be back with the SmackDown Nightcap. So, ladies and gentlemen, go subscribe to Boom Broadcasting. Go subscribe to Studio 67 on YouTube. Go subscribe to Tobacco Road Sports Radio. This has been the Nightcap. I am mouthing off with Mike. That's Podcast Smitty. That's Sean. Bye, guys. We're out of here.